So you have clicked over this video because you are also confused about whether to select Toronto or Montreal as your next destination. Well, I'm confused too, so I have compiled all the data which might help you. So start watching this video. So give a like to this video so that more people can get the benefit out of it. So the first factor is the area of both Toronto and Montreal. The Toronto is in the 630 square kilometers and the Montreal is in 431.50 square kilometers, and the population which resides in both in these cities is 6.4 million in Toronto and 1.7 million in Montreal. Also, nearly 47% of the population living in Toronto is of immigrants and 34% living in Montreal are immigrants. But there is one thing. Who cares about this? The second factor is the climate. The average high temperature in Toronto is 26.6 degrees Celsius, and in Montreal it is also the same, but the real factor is in the winters. The winters are much more harsher in terms of temperature in Toronto as compared to Montreal, because in Montreal the temperature is minus 12.4 degrees Celsius and in Toronto it is minus 32.8 degrees Celsius in winters. But don't think that the Toronto's winters are harsher, but in actual the Montreal is much harsher. How? It is because of the snow. Every year the snowfall in the month of January is recorded as 14.8 inches, while in Montreal it is more than 22 inches. So that is really a big factor, and more snow causes more harsher winters, much harder to drive, and much more problems for you to live. So the third factor is the crime index and the safety index. So if you live in Toronto, or if you want to live in Toronto, so there is a bad news for you, and that is that Montreal is much safer than Toronto. How? Because the crime index in Toronto is 39.37 as compared to Montreal's 29.23, which makes Montreal much more safer as compared to Toronto. The safety index is 60.63 in terms of Toronto and 70.77 for the Montreal. Talking about the safety index, why not you guys like this video so that this video has a safe way to reach more people and more people get the benefit out of this video. Please smash that like button. The next thing is the number of colleges which offer you postgraduate work permit after you graduate in Toronto and in Montreal. So in Toronto there are only 44 institutions, while in Montreal their number is 77. So you have much more options available if you select the Montreal as your next city where you want to live. The number of attractions or the tourist places is the next factor which I am considering, and in Toronto there are total 18 spots where you can go as a tourist, and in Montreal it is only 15. But still it is rather a high number. If we compare the both, it is comparable, and you can visit a lot of places in Toronto as well as in Montreal. Finally, I want to tell you about why Montreal is bad, because now is the time for the financial education. The minimum wages in Toronto is $14.25 per hour, but in Montreal it is only $13.10. The another bad factor for Montreal is that you pay 30% of your income as a tax, which the government takes, and in case of Toronto, and in case of Toronto it is only 20.5%. So I would consider that Toronto has an upper edge over Montreal because it has lower taxes. So if you live in Toronto, you have more salary after taxes as compared to Montreal's. Montreal is much cheaper than Toronto if we compare it in terms of car insurance, rent, public transport. How? Let me tell you. The insurance in Toronto will cost you twice as much as in Montreal. Just for example, if you pay $700 in Montreal as in your car insurance, then you, for the same car, you may have to pay about $1,500 in Toronto because the insurance prices are higher in Ontario, so you end up paying more bills as an insurance and more money out of your pocket for your lifestyle. And this doesn't stop here, because in Toronto you pretty much pay 76% more rent as compared to Montreal for the same living apartment. Also, the public transport costs you 74% more in Toronto as compared to Montreal, but in Montreal you end up paying more as compared to Toronto in terms of groceries, and that factor is just marginal, and that is about 5%. The groceries in Toronto are 5% cheaper if we compare the both Toronto and Montreal. So now is the final verdict where you should go, Toronto or Montreal. So if you want a good lifestyle and you want to learn the French language, then you should head over to the Montreal. And if you are into finances and want more after tax salary, then for the destination for you is Toronto, not Montreal, because the sale taxes are higher than Toronto, as I had described in my previous video. So pretty much the index of living or the quality of living in Toronto and Montreal is 150.29 and 156.85 for the Montreal. So it means that living in Montreal is a slightly a good thing than Toronto. But if you are into finances and you want more after tax salary, then Toronto is your destination, not Montreal, because the sales taxes are higher, the wages are lower, the taxes are more, and you pretty much end up giving more money out of your pocket to the government. So that's all for today, and if you like this video, please smash the like button so that this video gets over to the more people and they get the benefit out of it.